Evening everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. Here today are two Ferrari F10s from the 2010 Formula 1 World Championship. On the left here we have Felipe Massa, and on the right here we have Fernando Alonso. Both different models as well. They're both Mattel, but one on the right here is the Elite version, and on the left the Felipe Massa car is the bog standard version. So yeah, I'll get to those in a minute, but the Ferrari F10 was the title challenger that Ferrari brought out in 2010. The car started off as pretty much the second best, although McLaren I think were second best in testing. The Red Bull was by far the best car, and it showed going into Bahrain with Vettel putting the car on pole, but the Ferraris was second and third quickest in qualifying that day. But in the race, Ferrari took the 1-2 victory as Vettel's car decided to have a breakdown or a mechanical issue late in the race. Both Ferraris picked up the first and second place, with Fernando winning the race, and these models commemorate that victory as well, with the Bahrain Grand Prix on the labels. Sorry about the distance between the camera and the models, but the models are so bloody big you can't get them all in the viewfinder, but never mind. But yeah, the F10 went into 2010 as the best car, or second best car. But it took a long time though before Ferrari would win another race that year. It wouldn't be till the German Grand Prix, and of course we all know what happened at the German Grand Prix that year. But enough about that. But yeah, it took a long time for the car to get back at the racing or winning potential. The car was, I think, second fastest in Australia as well, but a first lap collision with Alonso pretty much sidelined his chances. Felipe hasn't never really recovered from his accident the previous year, and he wasn't really on the pace. But I suppose with Fernando as your teammate as well, you're not really going to have the upper hand. It's always the way with Ferrari, and it's pretty much still is. But yeah, it took a long time for Ferrari to win again. It took, I think, 5 wins that season, or at least Fernando Alonso did, and was in a championship contending position right up to the end. But like I said in previous videos, the 2010 season was one of those years where the championship, well, no one really deserved the championship that year. There was too much inconsistency. There were great drives, there were great races, but there was just no consistent driver who really deserved the championship. But in my opinion, it was Fernando who did, as he sort of, had more. Well, I said he had more wins, but not the most wins, but he seemed to drag a difficult car to the top, whereas Vettel and Webber had the best car. Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button had sort of the second best car, but they sort of failed to capitalise on them. But Fernando sort of dragged up the car and put it where most people couldn't, and went into the last race of the season as the favourite, or at least one of the favourites, but it never came to be. But yeah. But like I said, the Ferrari did take a long time to get back to winning ways. I think the German Grand Prix that year was sort of the 8th, 9th race of that season. And of course, like I said, we all know what happened in that race, with the team orders being put in the frame with the famous "Fernando is faster than you" line. And of course, that brought out rule changes that year, with basically team orders being abolished, and rightly so, really. I'm not a fan of team orders, but there's no real way you can police it, so I suppose letting them free to do what they like is really the only way you're gonna get away with it, really. But hey ho, there you go. But I suppose the team order really needed to come in, because I suppose the only way to get Fernando past Felipe safely was just to tell him to move over, because the previous race at the British Grand Prix they actually ran into each other on the first lap. So I suppose, yeah, the team order was sort of necessary. But yeah, the car was fast on most circuits, but like I said, a lot of mistakes throughout that year, and no one really deserved the championship. But yeah, it was definitely a looker, though. Definitely a better looking car, one of the better looking cars of 2010. Although I do admit I do like all the 2010 cars. It's something I don't normally say with a season. There's usually cars I like and cars I don't like, but 2010 I think was probably one of the best years for looking good looking cars, and the Ferrari is one of the best looking ones. Even though they come with shark fins, the car was launched and tested without shark fins, but the car pretty much turned up at the first race with a shark fin, and it stayed. Something they developed as well into the F duct that followed throughout the year, sort of copying McLaren, with the F duct going through the nose and out the top of the rear wing. But yeah, enough about the car really. Let's move on to the models, and Like I say, we've got two versions here. We've got the Elite version, which is this one here. Very nice box it comes in, so I shall talk about the box first, of course. And Mattel have done a really good job of making it obvious that it's a Fernando Alonso model, at least by the box. I mean, you got Fernando down here, a signature, a picture of him, and nothing on the front. But on the back, you got Fernando on the podium, Fernando in the car. And on the other side you got, well, nothing there, but yeah, it's definitely a Fernando Alonso model. It's just a shame they couldn't replicate that on the car because there's no driver in it, which is a shame because these Elite models, in my opinion, would have done well with a driver in the car, but hey ho, there we go. That's the Elite one out of the way. Let's move on to the basic box, and it's a typical Ferrari red colour, still with the price tag on it of $39.99. This was at Model Zone in Southampton. I bought this. And $39.99. It's about a year before the store closed, so I was pretty lucky to get this one. I think it was the last one they had on the shelf as well, but there we go. But yeah, it's a basic Ferrari model. It's still got the pictures of the car there. You can barely see it because of the reflection, but that's that there. And the same on the back. You got the car in all its glory there, and the same on the side there. So yeah, it's a basic box, but it's pretty good. Of course, Ferrari red, and yeah, $39.99 I pay for this, which is actually more expensive than the money I paid for the Elite version. I've only had the Elite version a few weeks, but I paid a lot less for that than I did for the basic model. But there we go. But that's enough about the boxes, and it's time to unbox them. So this shouldn't take long. It didn't. Right, so here we are with the cars out the box. We've got the basic one on the left here and the Elite version on the right. First impressions, both cars are very nicely made and a welcome improvement over the previous model, the F60, the 2009 car, which a lot of people has given stick for because of the well, the basicness of it. And straight away we've got, I'll move the Elite one out the way, so we'll go to the basic first, and straight away it is a much better quality model. You got the whatever this is, the barcode on the top there, something which was left out on all of the Ferraris previously, which is something a bit strange because as soon as 2010 came along, about halfway through they removed this and never ran it again, which you know, Mattel decided to replicate it, and by the time they replicated it, Ferrari removed it. So yeah, it's one of those things, sort of back to front with the reproduction of it. But yeah, overall though, the barcode is fine. The rest of the car is very nice as well. We've got the wire antenna there, which is barely noticeable because I've got a light on now, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So you've got the wire antenna there, and the tripod, which is about to fall over. So there we go there. There's nice detailing on the front there. It's a bit yellowed because of the light, but it's definitely white. The front wing there. The basic tyres, got all the nice things along the side there. The red isn't really doing it justice because, like I said, the light. If I turn the light off, you'll see. If I can get the thing to stand up. Right, so there's that. If I turn the light off, yeah, it's not brilliant, but I get my fancy flashlight out, and not much better either. But yeah, the light's not much better. So if I just turn the light back on, there we go. But yeah, it's a nice model. Otherwise, the paintwork is pretty fine. So we quick turn around this way, get a good profile of the car. You can see it's definitely a Coke bottle shape. The weird wing mirrors as well. The wing mirrors, which was banned throughout the year as well. I think after Australia they banned these wing mirrors because of the accidents that were happening that year, or at that race. So they done away with these wing mirrors, so the wing mirrors now have to attach to the side of the cockpit. Something which remains to date. You've got the exhaust on the back there, which are just basic painted black there, but painted much better than on the previous year's car. So you got that all painted black there. Rear tyres, the rear wing. Detailing there, quite chunky rear wing end plates, and also the board it's resting on is leaning, so it's rolling backwards. But got all the detailing in the rear there, basic details because, like I said, it's the basic version. But yeah, it's a nice Ferrari as well, nicely made. So we turn back around this way, and you've got the Red Bull-esque shape to the chassis, sort of a U-bend shape in the top of the chassis. So turn the camera and get a good profile of the car. It's a very big car as well. I mean, over the years these cars have developed quite a lot, and the size of them is, you know, they've gone up a huge amount. So if I just get an old car out the cabinet, just grab this one. Here we go. I've got the Ferrari F2001 here, and you can see over the years how the things have developed in sizes. So if we just look at the two cars here, you can really see the size difference in these cars. If you look down on them, you can see the 2010 car is huge compared to the 2001 car. I mean, it's 9 years of development, but it really shows how big the cars have got, both in length, height, and well, not the width hasn't changed. The height of the car, the length of the car, it's just shot up in size-wise. And I will do a review of this one at a later date, but not today. Goodbye. Right, let's get the tripod back together. This tripod's shit. Right, there we go. Anyway, onto the car again, and the screwdriver's just fallen on the floor. That doesn't help. Right, we've got the car here, which we'll quick scoot around again. We'll just do the other side. You know, scoot around the side as well there. You've got all the Santander business as well on the side. You got all the sponsors down there, the Bridgestone there. They're very, I'd say it's basic by today's standards, but I suppose at the time it was a fairly complex front wing. It did its job at least. So that's the front wing, got the front suspension, the barge boards, the wing mirrors, the side pods, and the gills in it as well. Through the rear suspension, and you got the rear wing supports there as well. You got the F duct. Although it's not an F duct at the moment, it's the just a basic shark fin, but it attaches all the way to the rear wing. I'm not sure it actually attaches completely. I'm not sure if it's just the way the plastic's moulded, but I think actually, well, I think it's just actually just slotted in there, so it's not actually attached per se, but it's you know, you've got to get an idea of how it's done there. So that's that. And also you've got Felipe in the car. Just turn the car around, you get a look in the cockpit. Plenty of detailing on that steering wheel there. Of course, these are not quite up to the hybrid as they are now, but still a lot of bits on the steering wheel there. And a look down at what's in the cockpit. Felipe sat there with the driver overalls, painted or decal shoulder straps and seat belts, and yeah, still a lot of detail in there, even though it's just the bog standard model. But for the price wise, I think it's, it's fair enough. I mean, the prices of this model come down quite a lot, because I think they were anticipating Alonso winning the championship, so they made a lot of them. But it wasn't to be, and of course they had a lot of surplus, and the prices sort of crashed from there on. So yeah, it's a shame that way, but overall not too bad. So that's the basic version done. So we'll just move that one to one side, and we'll bring back the elite version, which is an improvement, but I really can't justify the price on this one, to be honest. I mean, there are a lot of changes, although basic ones. I mean, the tyres are nice. You know, they're sort of Minichamps quality with the scrubbing on them, but to be honest, they're basically just taking the tyres off the original and just rubbed a bit of sandpaper over them. It gives them a better effect and a better texture, but they're basically the same tyres. They feel a bit harder as well, to be honest, so maybe they're not quite the same. But yeah, they're alright. I mean, they've still got the moulding line in the middle, but yeah, they do look a lot better. And other changes as well is you've got carbon detailing everywhere. You've got carbon decals attached all over the place, all over the show. We'll start at the front suspension. So you've got carbon decals all on the front there. Still looking a bit obvious that there's plastic underneath because of the knob underneath the or just above the joint in the suspension. But it looks a lot better. You've got the camera as well, which is all covered in carbon as well. The front wing is, I think it's pretty much the same. You've got a bit of carbon detailing on the side there. So you've got a bit of carbon on the side of the front wing there. And that's that. Also got a bit more down the side as well. So you've got along the side pod on the under tray there. You've got the tray there, the skirt with the carbon detailing on there. Also around the exhaust as well, you've got a bit of detailing there. You've got some rivets as well, but no rivets anywhere else on the bodywork, which is a shame. But on there you've got the detailing there, and on the rear suspension around the heat shields as well around the rear, you've got all the carbon detailing there. Very nicely done. Not something I could do. I mean, I'm not very good with decals, so I tend to avoid putting them on. So when I build a model, it remains naked. And also in the rear, if I can hold the camera steady, you've got carbon detailing all around there. Through the rear wing, on the gearbox, crash structure, and where the screws attach as well. So you get a close-up look at the rear tyres there. They do look pretty good. I mean, I will admit they do look nice on this car, despite having the mould line in the middle. But they are a better designed tyre. And we have a look. If we try and get up straight, look over the rear of the car. Nice profile of the chassis there. And yeah, not too bad. Right, grab onto the camera again and turn the car around. And there ain't much else really to talk about, apart from, well, the cockpit I'll explain in a minute, but there ain't much else really to go on. The tyres are good. and the carbon detailing good, but overall the car hasn't really improved that much. The paintwork's the same, the wheel rims are the same, the basic plastic parts are the same. I mean, on previous models, on previous Elite models had the wire antenna, and it was only the Elites that had that, but now the basic models have that, so it's not really something you've gained. Same with the one on the front there, you got a little wire one there. Something you really ought to look out for, because I just cut myself on it, so go and watch yourself. So yeah, it's a nice addition with the carbon detailing there, but I think it's something they really should have put on the basic model for the price as well. I mean, the price of this one, well, the price of the original, I mean the original over there originally was £102, or at least that's what it was on the price tag I bought it. And the Elite one, God knows how much that was. I think that was in the 150 range. So the price of difference doesn't really justify it, really. I mean, the amount of the detailing's nice, but it just doesn't it just really doesn't, you know, the price is just not worth it. You know, it's buying it brand new at the time, you know, you're not gaining very much. I was saying that I didn't buy this brand new, I bought it a few weeks ago because I was asked, you know, to do a comparison between the Elites and that, so I thought I'd get hold of one and just to see, and I actually paid £25 for it, and that was an eBay buy it now. It was an eBay buy it now. It's one of those sellers who put things on it and they don't really know the value, but no big issue. Well, I'm not complaining. But it's a shame when you see some people like that who really don't know what they're selling. But like I said, not complaining. I picked up a bargain, and yeah. So I paid 25 for the Elite version, which is this one, and I paid 40 for that one over there, which is the basic. So quid in basically. But yeah, we'll just look in the cockpit now and turn the car around, try and get it in the light, and move it a bit further this way. So we've got the usual gubbins on the steering wheel there, although you haven't got the driver in there anymore. So you've got the steering wheel there, a bit more carbon detailing, and in the cockpit you've got fabric and plastic bits on the seat belts. You've got all the shoulder straps and the seat in there, so there's a nice bit of detailing there, but I really wish they put a driver in there, considering they made the effort to make it a Fernando Alonso Elite model. I wish they just put a driver in there, but hey ho, it's only my opinion, but there we go. And on the underside, they haven't quite gone with the carbon detailing on the underside, but they've brushed out the plank. The plank on the basic one, if I just point that out, is actually yellow. So if I just tip that up, you can see the plank is orangey or beige on that one. So, and on the Elite one, it's black, and it's sort of textured to make it look carbon, but it's not quite the same effect. It's not got carbon decal on it, so it's just sort of just a carbon textured plastic. And you can't really read what's on it, but it's not a big issue. And on the underside of the chassis, you've got a bit more carbon detailing on the underside as well, under the nose, and on the bottom of the front wing as well. I didn't notice that. So you've got carbon detailing on the underside of the front wing, and on the underside of the chassis, underside of the suspension, and that. And I've got on the diffuser, I haven't got there's no carbon detailing on the diffuser, and no detailing on the underside of the rear wing. But you've got it on the bottom of the crash structure, which is hollow, surprisingly, but never mind. But yeah, it's a nice detailed model, but just the price of it when it's brand new is just not worth the hassle. I mean, like I say, I picked this one up for £25 on eBay, and I think that was a fair price. Although it was an eBay bargain at a buy it now. So there we go. So I just plonk him back down. So yeah, if you're a collector of all things Formula 1, then by all means get hold of either one of which. I've got two because, like I said, I did doing a comparison thing. I may resell one of these, but it won't be for a while. Because I do think this is one of the best looking Ferraris going. I mean, the Ferraris have made some crackers in the past. I mean, the F15T, was it the 2015 car, was a good looking car with the flat nose. The 2013 car was quite good looking as well. I've got that up on the shelf behind me. So I may do a review of that one. I would try and do these in order, but I thought I'd do these Elite ones first, and then move backwards onto the 09 car. Jump cut there, had to rush off and answer the phone, and now I can't remember what I was talking about, but it may have been something to do with the price of these things, which I've already mentioned. I mean, the price between the Elite version and the basic version was astronomical, but the quality difference wasn't really that much difference, although it is an improvement over, like I said, the 09 car, which I think is that one. one. Is it that one? Yeah, there's the 09 car. I will do a review of that one as well at a later date. We've got the 08 car, 09, 10 down here, got the 11, the 12, and the 13 there. So we've got plenty of Ferraris to go around, and I thought I'd just point those ones out. So there will be reviews for them later on. So yeah, I've already discussed the price, but the collectible wise, if you're a Ferrari fan or a Formula 1 collector like me who collects pretty much anything, then these are definitely models to get, whether it be the basic version or the elite version. The elite version, if you can get it at a sensible price, like I picked mine up for £25, then you're doing quite well. Then you won't need the basic version. I mean, the elite version is just slightly better with the carbon detailing and the tyres as well, so it's up to you, depending on which version you want. It looks good on display. I mean, it's a good looking car all round, despite the era that we're in. I mean, the wide front wing and the tall narrow rear wing. But it's, you know, it's up to you. And it's a good car to have on display. And in the box, it looks good as well. The elite version looks good in the black box, despite it not having a driver. But yeah, build quality wise is pretty good as well. If I just focus on the elite version, and the build quality wise is, you know, pretty good. The front wing is a bit flexible, but it's not going to snap. Well, it probably will snap if you put enough pressure on it, but it's pretty flexible, so you're not having any breakages there. The front suspension is pretty rock solid as well, so that's not going to snap off. The wing mirrors, I think, are probably the weakest part. They're held on quite well. I mean, they're attached at the floor as well, so they're not just going to snap off it, you know, just by breathing on them. But they're probably the weakest part of the model. As same with the T-cam on the top. The T-cam is usually the one thing that does go on most models, but that's pretty solid on this one. The rear wing is held on pretty strongly. I mean, it's attached to the shark fin. It's got two pillars underneath, and there's also the bottom plate as well as the rear wing. The only issue really with this model, quality wise, like I said, is the front the wing mirrors. I wasn't going to say the axle, because most Mattel models, the car slides on his axle, the rear axle, but not the case. It's not the case with this one. If I bring back the basic, and you can see what I mean with the car sliding on its axle. If I slide the rear wing, and you can see the car sliding on its axle there. It's one of the main issues you get with these Mattel models, the car sliding on its axle. But overall, it's not too bad. Whether you want the basic or the elite version is up to you. So yeah, they're both very desirable. They're both very nice models, and would recommend picking them up. But that's pretty much all I have to say. So just put another close-up of them together, and we'll marvel at them, at their brilliance and good lookingness. I'm also bringing the 2001 car as well. Why not? Let's bring them all in. There we go. Let's have them all on shot. So yeah, I will do a review of that one as well. But anyway, this is Rich signing off, logging off and disappearing, and I shall return with another review. So bye for now.